25 minutes on to 7 o'clock. This is where we say good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, Pity Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the rest of the world. It's Tuesday, the 13th day of May. Another good day to have a good day. Thanking you for joining me as always. We're a team, right? Remember that. Together, everyone achieves more. I learn from you, you learn from me. I listen to you, you listen to me. That's the way we roll. It's bright and sunny on the outside. On my way here this morning, the moon was so bright on the oceans, man. There are folks elsewhere that haven't seen the moon in life, you know. So we ought to be so thankful. Yulin Alexander, good morning as always. Catherine Phillip, Lydia James, Mildred Smith, you and Shem, and of course Zamora and Judy. Jelly and McIntyre, good morning. Good morning. Yoland Swan. How do you do? Good morning, Monica, Mayrose Williams, Miss Joan, Daddy Godwin, good morning. How are you doing? All you good? Nice. Fix it. Indeed, a good day to have a good day. There's someone driving over the Grand Tang at the moment. Good morning to you, bro. Mr. Millet. How you do, Papi? You all right? Good, nice. On the buses traveling over the hills, that's the Grand Tang. That's where we refer to as over the hills in Grenada. Please drive safely, okay? Veronica Sandy, good morning. Let's head into the word of the day. The word of the day, that word today is dexterous. Dexterous. D-E-X-T-E-R-O-U-S. Dexterous. It means skillful with hands or mind. Skillful with hands or mind. Here's how we can use that word in a sentence. The surgeon's dexterous movements ensured the operation was a success. Good morning to Mel and family. Out there in, that's Windsor Forest, right? Our guy. Be strong, girl. Jella, good morning to you. Be strong. Yeah, there seems to be a wave going on in our guy. Abel is not doing too well. Nonetheless, he give it and he take it. Good morning, all the wonderful folks. Those of you out there in the diaspora, good morning. Good morning, Reverend Samuel Caesar. Gigi Giles, good morning to you and Denzo. Hope all you're doing fine. Wendy Williams, good morning. Destined to win overcomer, good morning. Mary Banks. The regulars, good morning. Petlin and the family. The Maxwins, wherever you are. The Josephs, each and every one of the Josephs. Joe, good morning to you and Miss Annie and the entire home circle. Yep. Nadisha, good morning to you and the folks inside of Cafe. Your motivational tip of the day is up next. Debbie, what's up, Papi? Focus on your effort, not just the outcome. Commit to doing your best, regardless of the immediate result. The effort you put in today will shape tomorrow. Yeah, you don't plant a seed today and, harvest it today. Commit to doing your best. Regardless of the immediate results, the effort you put in today will shape tomorrow. Yep. Nice. Holy Spirit. 20 minutes on to 7. Holy Spirit, fill my soul. What's buzzing today? Buzzing. Let's see what's buzzing today. All right, Grenada continues to champion peace, dialogue, and neutrality in global affairs. In the region, person of interest in a 9-year-old's death in Jamaica, fatally shot by the cops. Internationally, more than 100 dead after flooding in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. And in sports, Cricket West Indies conduct a talent identification workshop in Trinidad during the West Indies Breakout League that just concluded. Congratulations to Team Trinidad. Yeah. And the GFA Premier League kicks off on later on in the month. It's going to be exciting football. Nice. Paradise. When you talk football, you talk paradise. You know what I'm saying, right? No ifs, no buts about it. So those are the buzzing stories. Hopefully from tomorrow we will have the health tip. Sparkle Forsyth, good morning. Joan Brathwaite Batson, good morning to you. Lydia Cameron. Those of you in Canada, those of you in the US, yeah, there has seemed to be some easement. The tariffs have been reduced from the US perspective, 30% on tariff instead of the 145. In China's case, they've reduced it to 10%. That's good news. Dialogue. Diplomacy. I'm seeing Minister Andal doing a lot of that. He's leading the way. Morning, Papi. How you doing? Minister Joseph Andal. You don't hear much about him, but he's got a very subtle way of making impacts, right? Former teacher, Mr. Dennis Cornwall, the Honorable Dennis Cornwall. There's a special sitting of Parliament today. MP Peter David, good morning. How you do, Papi? You all right? The hair growing back now? Okay. 18, just turned 17 minutes on to 7. Annie Modeste. Good morning, blessed day. If I'm not mistaken, you're from Barbados, right? Bimsha. Cheese on bread, man. Good morning to my Bajan friend. How are you doing? Let the heavens on the praises. Reminding you that it is a good day to have a good day. Good morning, Erlin. How are you? Hope you're doing fine. I think I still have a little time that I want to do this quote, all right? All right, Heavenly Father, it's a brand new day with new mercies and grace. Thank you, Lord. My prayer, please bless, heal, protect, and deliver all who are hungry for just one touch of you, one touch from you. We praise you in advance for all you are going to do in our lives today, and we bless your holy name. Amen. That's all right. That's good news. All right, Papi, thank you very much. May every hour of this day bring some special thought that makes you smile, a smile that warms your heart, and a heart that holds much happiness inside. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Apostle. Folks, the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather comes up right after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
Attention all divers, snorkelers and underwater enthusiasts. Effective May 15th, 2025, all visitors to the renowned Mullinaire Underwater Sculpture Park will be required to pay a small fee of US $3.50 or EC $10 per person. These fees are essential to support the ongoing maintenance and repairs of the sculptures, as well as the development of new features to ensure the park remains a world-class attraction. Payment can be made through the Grenada Tourism Authority's online payment portal, available on the Pure Grenada website, www.puregrenada.com. We thank you for your support in enhancing this extraordinary underwater product. This announcement is brought to you by the Grenada Tourism Authority and the Ministry of Tourism, dedicated to protecting and conserving Grenada's resources for the enjoyment of all.
ready, Grenada? The Maggie King of the Grill is back and bigger than ever. On Saturday, June 7th, Monroe's playing field transforms into the ultimate battleground for grill masters. Think you got what it takes? Then fire up those grills and show your skills. Registration closes Friday, April the 11th, so don't miss your chance to compete for that sizzling prize and bragging rights. It's food, fun, and flavor, all powered by Maggie. To register, call 407-8458. Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules. See you there.
This is the GBN Morning News for today, Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. Coming up in the news, Grenada continues to champion peace, dialogue, and neutrality in global affairs. In the region, person of interest in 9-year-old's death in Jamaica fatally shot by police. Internationally, more than 100 dead after flooding in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. And in sports, Cricket West Indies conducts talent identification workshop in Trinidad during the West Indies Breakout League and GFA Premier League to be launched later this month. We've got the details of these and more after these messages.
Need to install or repair your plumbing? We've got you covered. Whether you're setting up a new washing machine, replacing a leaking faucet, or fixing that pesky dripping pipe, the Plumbing Supply Store is your go-to place in Grenada. We offer a wide range of plumbing products to make both new installations and maintenance a breeze. Our shelves are stocked with top quality products including pressure and waste fittings. And if you've been struggling with blocked drains, have you heard of Melt? This powerful drain-on-blocker liquid is a game changer, designed to prevent and clear blockages, making it ideal for hairdressers dealing with clogged wash sinks. We also carry a wide selection of repair kits and replacement parts to bring new life to all plumbing fixtures. Visit us today on the Woodlands Main Road or call 444-1377 for expert advice, top-notch products, and a warm welcome. At the Supply Store, we do everything plumbing.
Hi, good morning. With the details, I am Gordon Joseph. As a nation without military power, Grenada has long relied on diplomacy, regional cooperation, and international partnerships to navigate global challenges. Speaking to a group of Grenadians following last Tuesday's meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development Joseph Andal emphasized Grenada's approach and underscores the belief that even small states can play a meaningful role in fostering peace and stability. We have more in this.
We have to remember that we are not a military power. We do not seek to exercise hegemony over anyone else. We have not the means nor the desire to do so. We live in a neighborhood that we share together. None of us can pick up our countries and move it elsewhere. And therefore it is incumbent upon us to try to be on good neighborly terms with everyone in the neighborhood.
Minister Andal reaffirmed the country's commitment to non-alignment and peaceful engagement.
We are not in the business of drinking bush for other people's fever. And we recognize every country's right to pursue its own interest, and we also have the right to do that. We are not out to antagonize anyone, but whatever we do, it is done with the interest of Grenada and Grenadians at heart.
The high-level meeting addressed a range of critical regional issues, including the recent imposition of U.S. trade tariffs, migration, and security concerns. The question of support for Grenada through the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, was posed to Foreign Affairs Minister Joseph Andal last Tuesday, following a meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Andal provided an update on the issue, stating the aid will not stop entirely.
So the Secretary of State pointed out that it is not a question of the U.S. point blank cutting off aid, but instead realigning the way that it views it. He pointed out that very often in the past, the U.S. government would just give or offer certain things without consideration for whether that was what the intended recipient wanted or needed. So his point was that there is going to be a greater collaboration, that the point of delivery will become closer via the embassies in the respective countries.
The United States is the largest global provider of humanitarian aid, with Grenada receiving substantial support through the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. As a result, Grenada is expected to feel the impact of U.S. President Donald Trump's executive order issued on the 20th of January, which suspended billions of dollars in aid managed by the U.S. State Department, USAID, and the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR. The government of Grenada has officially established diplomatic relations with the Republic of the Philippines, marking a significant step in strengthening ties between the Caribbean and Southeast Asia. Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development Joseph Andal signed a joint communique with Philippine Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo on 8th May on the sidelines of the CARICOM Council of Foreign and Community Relations COFCA meeting held in St. Kitts and Nevis. The agreement signifies a new era in the friendly ties between Grenada and the Philippines, according to a statement released by the Philippine Department of Foreign Affairs. This development brings the Philippines' diplomatic engagements within the Caribbean community to 14 member states, highlighting the region's growing international partnerships. Minister Andal participated in discussions with Secretary Manalo during the COFCA meeting, which served as CARICOM's principal body for coordinating foreign policies, promoting external relations among its 15 full members and 6 associate members. And finally, Yakuba Toussaint, a 40-year-old farmer of Riversally in St. Patrick, has been charged with the offenses of possession of a firearm and possession of ammunition. These charges were brought against Mr. Toussaint after one Glock pistol, along with 2 magazines and 20 rounds of ammunition, were found in his possession during an operation conducted by police on Saturday, 10th May at the Pearls in St. Andrew. Mr. Toussaint appeared at the Grenville Magistrates Court on Monday, 12 May, and the following sentences were handed down to him. For possession of a firearm, he was fined $15,000 to be paid in 8 months, in default, 18 months imprisonment. For possession of ammunition, he was fined $6,000 to be paid in 14 months, in default, 12 months imprisonment. Additionally, a suspended sentence of 2 years in prison was imposed. Mr. Toussaint must refrain from committing any offenses within 2 years. In default, 2 years imprisonment. That's the end of the first segment of news, the local segment. Stay with us. The regional and international developments, along with the sports and the weather, they are straight ahead. In the region, Giovanni Ellis, who was listed as a person of interest in the death of 9-year-old schoolgirl Kelsey Farringham, was on Monday morning fatally shot by the police in Clarendon during an operation to capture him. Details surrounding the incident, which happened in Sandy Bay, are yet to be released by the police. Ellis, alias Cooleyman, was out on bail on a charge of cruelty to a child. He was on the run since the discovery of the girl's body last Friday, which has left her community in turmoil. Farragon, who was found dead inside a barrel at a home in Jobs Lane in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, partially nude and bearing signs of physical abuse. Her 16-year-old brother made the horrific discovery around 8 p.m. while her mother was away from the home. The murder has sparked national outrage, with calls for stronger protection of children and swift justice. The government had put out a $2 million reward for his capture. Still in Jamaica, health authorities are appealing to the public to comply with national immunization schedule. We've got this and more in this OCM News Network report.
Health officials in Jamaica are urging members of the public to comply with the national immunization schedule following reports of a yellow fever outbreak in neighboring countries. Yesterday, the medical officer of health for Portland, Dr. Sharon Lewis, made the appeal, noting that the affected countries are experiencing relatively high mortality rates. Dr. Lewis also reminded members of the public of the requirement that individuals must be vaccinated against yellow fever at least 10 days before traveling.
And to the requirement for persons to get the yellow fever vaccine at least 10 days prior to travel to a country where the yellow fever virus is circulating. It is less costly to prevent these diseases than to treat them. With regards to the measles outbreak in the United States, as of the 6th of May 2025, Texas Department of State Health Services reported that the number of confirmed measles cases during the current outbreak in the United States of America was 702. Of these 702 cases, 91 or 30% were hospitalized, and 2 children died from the disease, and they were unvaccinated.
She said prevention is better than cure. Trinidad and Tobago's suspended police commissioner.
And looking further afield, more than 100 people have died after flooding in a village near the shores of Lake Tanganyika in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, the DRC. The flooding, which affected the village of Kasaba, comes at a vulnerable moment for the Central African nation. Rwanda-backed M23 rebels have intensified an offensive in the eastern region since the start of the year, with thousands killed in fighting in the first 2 months. A U.S.-funded flight carrying the first group of 49 white South Africans to be granted refugee status has landed in Washington after leaving Johannesburg on Sunday. Relations between South Africa and the U.S. have been tense for months after President Donald Trump said that members of the country's Afrikaner minority were victims to racial discrimination. This was dismissed by South Africa's Foreign Minister Ronald Lamola, who said on Monday there is no persecution of white Afrikaner South Africans, adding that police reports debunk President Trump's assertion. South Africa says that any allegations of persecution would not meet the threshold required under domestic and international refugee law. And finally, share markets jumped on Monday after President Trump said weekend talks had resulted in a total reset in trade terms between the U.S. and China, a move which goes some way to diffuse the high-stakes standoff between the two countries. The talks in Switzerland resulted in significant cuts to the tit-for-tat tariffs that had been stacked up since January on both sides. The U.S. will lower those tariffs from 145% to 30%, while China's retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods will drop to 10% from 125%. President Trump told reporters that as some of the levies have been suspended rather than cancelled altogether, they might rise again in 3 months' time if no further progress was made. That's the regional and international news at this time. Stay with us. The sporting highlights are straight ahead, followed by the weather. Good morning, sporting fans. The Grenada Football Association, the GFA, their 2025 Premier League season is set to kick off on Saturday, May 24th, with a full slate of matches scheduled. Defending champions Paradise FC will open the campaign at home against the newly promoted North Stars at Progress Park, with kickoff set for 4 p.m. This match promises to be a thrilling start as the reigning champions face fresh challengers eager to make their mark. Newcomers St. David's FC will travel to Cuthbert Peters Park to take on St. John's Sport at 6 p.m. Meanwhile, Hurricanes SC will host Hard Rock SC at the Alston George Park, also kick off at 6 p.m. The day will also feature a doubleheader at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Queen's Park Rangers will face Saab Spartans at 4 p.m., followed by FC Cameron meeting Shamrock SC at 6 p.m. GFA's General Secretary Carl Lee said supporters can expect intense battles as each team looks to establish early momentum in the season. We are excited to kick off the season of the GFA Premier League, he said. With new teams joining and strong competition across the board, the league promises to deliver a thrilling football for fans across Grenada. Cricket West Indies Director of Cricket Miles Bascom met with territorial talent identifiers during the recently concluded West Indies Breakout League in Trinidad. The workshop, which spanned 3 days from May 8th to 10th, brought together CWI's network of territorial talent identifiers with key high performance and coaching personnel to improve alignment, evaluation methods, and integration with the senior men's team environment. The 6 talent identifiers went through several comprehensive sessions with head coach of the senior men's team, Darren Sami, alongside high performance manager Dwayne Gill, senior manager Jamal Smith, and CWI's performance analyst Avinash Sitaram. Head coach Darren Sami praised Cricket West Indies for the initiative, which is in line with the strategic plan of aligning the principles of the international team to the regional level. Sami said it's a great initiative brought on by CWI with all the talent IDs that's around the region, with the intention to provide context and guidance to this instrumental group by giving them an in-depth look into the CWI, into what the CWI does at the highest level in all 3 formats of the game. The workshop's main objective was to ensure that the territorial talent identifiers know the processes that drive selection and, by extension, talent identification and development. They also took the opportunity to align the depth charting process and gather the input on creating a standardized player assessment model to be implemented system-wide. The input and feedback from the group was extremely valuable and provided foundation for continuous collaboration. Territorial talent identifiers at the workshop were Henderson Brooms from Barbados, Ramnaresh Sawan from Guyana, Delroy Morgan from Jamaica, Samuel Spencer from the Leeward Islands, Gibran Mohammed from Trinidad and Tobago, and Craig Emmanuel representing the Windward Islands. That concludes the sporting segment. Stay with us, folks. The weather forecast is straight ahead.
Whether you're refreshing a bedroom or giving your home a bold new look, the Color Shop has the perfect paint and tools to make it happen, inside and out. With quality finishes for every surface and accessories to match, we make painting easy from start to finish. Whether it's a DIY weekend or a contractor starting a brand new project, the Color Shop is the trusted choice.
Good morning, Fimba.
Hey, good morning. It's a partly cloudy morning down here with some showers to the northeast. The winds are blowing from the east-southeast at 12 miles per hour. The pressure above the mean and it's rising at 13.9 millibars. Present temperature 28 degrees, Orange 82%. Maximum temperature here within the last day got up to 30.7 degrees. Minimum temperature last night 26.5. Please note all temperatures at all times are in degrees Celsius. In terms of rain here within the last day, just a trace of rain. Hence for the month so far, total stays at 36.3 millimeters of rain. Once more, this is only for the airport. Now let's take a look at the forecast for the day and the nighttime. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy with a few showers, some of which may be heavy, but that's mostly for the northern part of the state. Maximum temperature should get up to near 30.5. Winds easterly to southeasterly at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Waves should get up to near 7 feet in northeasterly swells, hence seas will be moderate. If you're going into the sea and you have a small craft, please take note, you could meet swells pushing in from the northeast and waves up to 7 feet, so be safe. There's a warning out for you. Tides are falling now, should be low during the course of the morning near 10:30, then high this afternoon near 4:30. Sunset 6:23, sunrise on Wednesday 5:43. Just to recap the forecast for the day and the nighttime, the weather expected to be partly cloudy with a few showers. You may see some heavy spells, but that's mostly for the northern part of the state. And if you're going into the sea and you have a small craft, please take note, there is a warning out for you. You could meet waves up to 7 feet in northeasterly swells. That's it from the Met Office. I'm from my friend.
Thank you very much, Fimba. Have yourself a wonderful day now.
Same to you. Bye-bye.
Folks, the weather forecast came to you with the kind compliments of Rennick & Thompson Company Limited.
Meet Mom. She's not just the wake up at the crack of dawn, make breakfast and pack bags kind of mom. She also gets her fitness game on. Yeah, she's the don't let anyone forget anything kind of mom. At the same time, she's the runs her own business, closing deals kind of mom, who finds time to get down and boogie with the kids after school, remodel the house, bake cake, host dinner, and even play her favorite game at the end of the day kind of mom. So let's celebrate Mom, because to us, she's so much more.
Folks, it's 9 minutes after 7 o'clock to end the news. A recap of the headlines. Grenada continues to champion peace, dialogue, and neutrality in global affairs. In the region, person of interest in 9-year-old's death in Jamaica fatally shot by cops. Internationally, more than 100 dead after flooding in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. And in sports, GFA to launch their Premier League season later this month. And Cricket West Indies conducts talent identification workshop in Trinidad during West Indies Breakout League. That has been the morning edition of news for today, Tuesday, the 13th day of May. On behalf of the entire news department, I'm Gordon Joseph, thanking you for watching and listening and extending the invitation to you to stick and stay with the network, because we are with you anywhere and everywhere. Have a productive day.
Heritage Theatre presents Breaking Out, the Grenada Love Story, featuring Robert White and Lisa Grappi, written and directed by Chris DeRiggs.
But I still love you, Richie.
You love me and you're hard in me. 4 big performances, Saturday 24th and Sunday 25th May at the Grenada Trade Center, Saturday 31st May and Sunday 1st June at Deluxe Cinema in Grenville. Showtime 7 p.m. sharp.
He's the love of my life, Auntie. You have to marry a man for other things besides love, child.
Get your tickets at Mitchell's Pharmacy in Grandance, Gittins Health and Wellness, Wall Street, Gabriel's Pharmacy, Pedmata, St. David Pharmacy, St. Andrew Pharmacy, Art and Soul Boutique at Spiceland Mall, 3B's Shoe Store, and GoToFed.com. Breaking Out. Come out and enjoy Grenadian theater at its best.
This ad complements Classic Lighting Caribbean.
Start, manage, expand. Don't call me small. I'm dreaming big. I'm gonna have it all. ACB, me, start, manage, expand. Taking on all my competition. Got the whole bank's attention. ACB, best financial solution. My business has a good reputation. Ready for success? Call us at 444-4919 or visit us at acbonline.com to learn more. ACB, start, manage, expand your business today.
Grenada is indeed beautiful and worth exploring. We firmly believe that you should be allowed to do so. Why not explore Grenada with James Services Corp Off-Road Tours? Whether you decide to explore Grenada with your family, spouse, or large group of friends, we are ready to welcome you. Our tours are guaranteed to leave you with wonderful memories of Grenada if you are visiting, and excitement if you live here. Book a tour with us now by visiting our website www.jamessvcs.com. Call 1473-442-3769 or email info@jamessvcs.com. James Services Corp Off-Road Tours.
I am Dennis James Williams, owner and director of James Services Corp. Looking forward to welcoming you to the beautiful island of Union to explore with James Services Corp Off-Road Tours. See you soon.
Explore our beautiful island of Grenada from an angle that is unique and off-road, but equally fun. We are 100% family-friendly tours.
If you are 50 years and over or turning 50 in 2024, our 50-plus car insurance is perfect for you. It's loaded with free benefits like loss of use, special perils, and windscreen cover up to $2,500. Getting to 50 is filled with ups and downs. Let's celebrate these moments together and look forward to 50 more. Call Beacon Insurance at 440-4447 or log on to beacongrenada.com to get a free quote today. Special conditions apply.
Have you ever wondered how you can benefit from the Grenada Citizenship by Investment Program? Then IMA Grenada invites you to its public forum on May 13th at 5:30 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center. Regulations have changed to create more space for local participation, for local developers and those who want to become local developers to tap into new opportunities. Hear from top experts from the CBI Committee, IMA Grenada, and GIDC. This is your opportunity to learn the process, ask your questions, and learn how to be involved. So don't miss this chance. Remember, Grenada Trade Center at 5:30 p.m. on May 13th. See you there.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm committed to us?
She made me feel some measure of warmth, maybe even passion. If I decide to do this, I'll be doing it for you, no one else.
Labukan presents Rivals, playing at Labukan Creative Center, GCNA Complex, all weekends in May, Saturdays 8 p.m., Sundays 6 p.m., and Deluxe Cinema Grenville, Saturday, June 7, 8 p.m. Tickets from Grenadian Optical, Labukan, St. Andrew's Pharmacy, and Go to Fit at $75. Sponsors Bryden and Miners Limited, Knights Auto, Sandals, GBN, Republic Bank, Trios Auto, Co-op Bank, and Huggins. It's Rivals by Francis Urias Peters. Don't you miss it.
You better come back, boy. You better come back.
Get ready, Grenada. The Maggie King of the Grill is back and bigger than ever. On Saturday, June 7th, Monroe's playing field transforms into the ultimate battleground for grill masters. Think you got what it takes? Then fire up those grills and show your skills. Registration closes Friday, April the 11th. So don't miss your chance to compete for that sizzling prize and bragging rights. It's food, fun, and flavor, all powered by Maggie. To register, call 407-8458. Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules. See you there.
All right, welcome to the conversation this morning. It's going to be a busy morning, of course. I told you that yesterday. And this morning I'm joined by my good friend. She's kind of, co-host sometimes. None other. I'm joined by Ms. Carlin Purcell. She is the Deputy CEO at the Immigration Migration Authority. Investment Migration Agency. Miss Carlin Purcell, good morning, my dear. How are you?
Oh, good morning, Innocent.
All right. It's always a pleasure to have you by us. And you look tired, though.
I look tired.
Yeah.
I thought I would have been able to fake it this morning, but clearly I'm not.
Yeah, you look
The makeup didn't work?
Nah. maybe what might have worked was a wake up later. A later wake up. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. But you're strong. You're a strong cookie.
Of course.
Tough cookie. IMA has been doing a lot in recent years. Unfortunately, some of it might have gone unnoticed because maybe of lack of sufficient publicity and so forth. But I must confess, in recent times, there's been a concerted effort to really get the populace to know what IMA is about and all the good things that IMA has been doing, because we still have some people who keep, of the opinion that, they're only selling out with place and so forth. But, development comes with a cost.
It does.
All
it
right.
does.
And you are on a trajectory now to further explain to Grenadians and by extension the world how Grenadians can benefit from IMA.
Right. So, as a matter of fact, the program have always, it never really excluded Grenadians. From the time we started, anybody, Grenadian or non-Grenadian, could have applied to the program to become a developer. So, and this is the area we're focusing on this time, simply because we've had regulations changed only in March to lower some of the fees associated with becoming a local developer. If you're a local becoming a developer, we're calling it the enhanced local developer program, right? Okay. So it's not. It's as you know, persons can actually invest in Grenada at the moment through the National Transformation Fund or through an approved project, right? And those are the two ways persons can become citizens if they invest. So what we're looking at, so we said the National Transformation Fund, so that's one area, so that money goes directly to the government of Grenada. However, the approved project tract or option, that is what we're focusing on. So anybody can actually come forward with a business plan. We do the assessment, look at the costing, determine whether it's a viable project, and approval. We do all the background checks, the due diligence, and all of that, and determine whether or not we then give approval for that particular project. So some of those projects, like I said, would be like Six Senses or the Beach House, or even the local ones like Hideaway or Point at Petite Calavini. So as you can see, Grenadians were always involved, but it's just that, the size of the projects generally that the Grenadians would come forward with, they're normally smaller. And as a result of that, we thought, let's give persons an opportunity to really come to the table. The equity financing requirement, it used to be 20%. You'd have to come up with 20% of that cost of your project. With the new regulations for locals, that has gone down to 6%. Only 6% equity requirement to basically have up front, and you would then attract investors out there looking to invest in Grenada and get their citizenship. They will then invest into your project, which is what's going to give you that financing that you need to build out your project.
So it's sort of like a sort of partnership kind of thing.
Partnership, yes. I think it's another form of financing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that leads me to the next question. Now, are there any particular types of projects? Because when we hear foreign investment, we look at hotels and cottages and so forth.
Yeah. And that's a misconception out there as well. The truth is, in conjunction with the tourism authority, there is a plan in place to increase the room stock. All part of increasing the room stock, improving the tourism product, having that in itself having a spill off on flights and the ability to attract bigger and more flights to Grenada. So so it's a multiplier effect, and the room stock is key to driving that. So as part of that, we have in the past had focus on hotels and helping to get that room stock to expand. Because if you look across the Caribbean, not too many hotels have been built outside of using funding from programs like these, right? So we thought, hey, why not? Let's encourage persons to build out the stock that way. However, we know that there are quite some other there are many other areas or sectors that persons may have ideas and plans to build out that are that will be beneficial to Grenadians. So we focus on the similar areas that the GIDC focus on in terms of agriculture, agro-processing, the healthcare, education, IT, anything in the green and blue economy, so any of those areas, if you have a viable project, those will be considered for the approved project option.
So let me get some clarification there. That 6% that locals have to come up with, the other 94%, where does that funding come from?
The investors. So the persons that are investing in Grenada, so the non-Grenadians that are invested in Grenada and in turn receive their citizenship, those funds that they invest can come into your project. So they will select, so you may have 3 projects on the table. So your project, so I'm speaking it into being here now.
Yes, of course. Well, your
agriculture project, right?
Course,
so your agriculture project.
That's where I'm going.
You may have, another hotel. You may have, let's just say, IT assembling plant, let's just say, in Grenada, right? So when those persons are out there and they're looking for opportunities to invest in Grenada, we'll say, okay, these are 3 of our approved projects. You can invest in any one of those, minimum of $270,000 US dollars per family of 4, right? So persons are able to do that. So that funds you can receive, if they select your project, you then get those funds to invest and build out your project.
Right, but then I come up with a viable project and I bring forward my 6%, a foreign investor agrees to, invest in this project, then I only have 6% stake in that.
For now, you have an opportunity. So you don't have to use funds, those funds, for all of the other 94%. So you can choose, but you can do minimum of 6%, right? You can choose to go up to the 20% so that you have a bigger stake. But that is, this is how investment work. Okay. In Grenada, I know it's not a common concept of, outside of partnerships, you may have a partnership maybe like 2 persons or 3 persons, and even those don't last very long in Grenada, right? So we don't have a culture of investment and share ownership and, but around the world, that is how most big organizations, that is how they invest, and they attract equity financing for their operations. Every so often you'd hear a company selling additional shares. Of course, they're reducing the amount that they then have in as ownership of. But it's not a concept that, and this is why. So persons, it's not necessarily because it's not for Grenadians, but because Grenadians are not really familiar with that type of investment, you find persons tend to shy away sometimes. So even when they come, they inquire, they shy away from it because they're not willing to give up any stake in the operations. However, the law provides a person to, after 5 years, they can buy back those shares. So you become viable, so you're operational, you become viable, and you can then buy back those shares from your investors. You get the first dibs at repurchasing those shares, but you can only do that after 5 years, which will give you some time to get your business going and to, may start making some profit and use that then to reinvest.
But that is a very interesting concept. I like that concept, in that Grenada, we know that Grenada is not Grenadians, we are not bankrupt for ideas. What we lack most of the times is collateral and the support, the financial support, and maybe in some cases the technical support to get certain viable businesses off the ground. So this is a really, really good option. And so therefore, hence the reason for your symposium.
Yes.
To get people into it. So tell us about it.
Yes, so the symposium will be held today. So it's right here on us. We've been talking about this for a little while now. So it's today at the Grenada Trade Center from 5:30 in the afternoon. So if you're there, any persons out there that are interested, you have an idea, you have a business plan, you did the plan, it's there saved in a folder on your computer, dust it out. You have an opportunity to come, and understand how the program works a little better. You can, as a matter of fact, today we'll also be having the GIDC. The CEO of the GIDC will be there, and his team will be there as well to answer questions. So they'll have a small booth, as well as the GDB. Right? We'll be there to answer questions and to engage with you and to interact with you, just in case you have follow-on questions. Because the truth is, those institutions, especially the GIDC, they do quite a bit of hand-holding, in starting up a business, any type of business, whether or not it comes through our operations, so in terms of if you just need a little help to really, strengthen your business plan, get your company registered. They offer a plethora of services to the public as we speak, not just in the context of our program, but they are also the ones that negotiate in order for you to have access to concessions, right? So the incentives packages, they are the ones that develop that as well. So they're a key partner in all of this. Hence the reason why we thought it would be good to have them on board with us for this particular symposium, so that it's almost a one-stop kind of shop today. So you get all the information you need. You can then take that, go back with it, and really get things in motion and come on board with us.
That is, folks, I really urge urge you, those of you who are industrious minded, this is a golden opportunity. I really, really like this because we still have that pocket of society that are against. They have this bitter taste in their mouth as it relates to the investment migration agency. They see it just as selling out Grenada's passports, and it's much more than that. And this is an opportunity where you can look at the positives that can be derived from the IMA.
Yeah. With any investment, almost any business you get into, there would be, positives, there would be negatives, right? What we do at the agency is try our best to mitigate the risks associated with the program. We know, when you get into investment, when you get anything like this, the banks know that, hence, most of the loans you see happening at the banks are loans that are not so high risk, because they understand the concept of risk, right? So what we do is mitigate risks associated with the program as best as we can. We have been improving. We have been, tightening, strengthening wherever we can. There's now going to be a regional regulatory body in place that's going to help the programs, not just in Grenada, but throughout the Caribbean, so that we learn from each other and build from each other's strengths, throughout the Caribbean. So I think having a partnership in the IMA in terms of helping with the economic development trajectory that Grenada has, I think it's an awesome thing, and we're here to support, to help, and to encourage persons.
So let me ask that. When I come forward with my business plan and proposal, right?
Yes.
My agribusiness proposal.
Very well, yes.
I come to IMA and say, hey, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. This is how I intend to get there. And these are the benefits of this project. The IMA, in turn, will identify prospective applicants to put to that project?
So they won't exactly. So the IMA won't find prospective applicants for you. The persons that are in the whole line of our operations that will do that will be the marketing agents. So there are persons that are licensed by our agency throughout the world, based in different parts of the world, especially in areas where this type of investment is demanded, right? And they would be the ones to find those prospective persons for you. Yeah. Okay. So we have over 50-something plus marketing agents, active marketing agents that can assist you in identifying potential investors for your project.
Okay, sounds good. I am all excited about this. And from the launch of that program, that campaign, with the local investor arm of it, have we seen a number of people, Grenadians, locals, coming forward with ideas?
To be honest, we have not, simply because this is the first time we're really on the ground speaking about it. So it happened, it was gazetted, but nobody's reading the Gazette.
Yeah.
So people don't really know that it exists. I mean, like I said, it's a fairly new regulation. In March it was enacted. So we're now educating the public, so that they can get on board. So we're hoping that in the next few months, over the next few months, while people, like I said, they dust off their business plans, or they get support to now roll out their business plans. So these ideas that they had, for quite a while on the back burner, that persons will now come forward, get involved. You may have somebody may have been, having some issues trying to come up with some financing to get their project off the ground. This is a perfect opportunity to explore this as an option for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's awesome. All right. Time of the symposium.
Yes.
I wanted to go a little further, but
leave a little bit for later.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Right? Some of the misconceptions could be cleared up at the symposium.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us again the time.
So the time, it's 5:30 this afternoon at the Grenada Trade Center. Come. be comfortable. There's space for everyone. So come, have a seat. Do your little research during the day. Take the opportunity to do that, because we want you to come with good, solid questions. We'll answer the good, hard ones, So come at us and let's have a real conversation and see how you can get involved. Like I said, both the GDB and the GIDC and their team will also be there. So come be a part of it.
Okay. And how long do you expect it to go up to? Is there a cutoff time?
Well, we're thinking that there is, but we know, these discussions, if persons are really involved and persons get engaged, it may go on until 7:30, 8 o'clock. We don't, if you understand what I mean. We're there to engage. I mean, we'll have to cut off at some point, but I wouldn't like to say no that, we're going to end at 7 or we're going to end at 7:30, because sometimes I've been to symposiums so far and we've, sometimes we've gone past the time we project we are going to be on.
All right. Well, again, I want to urge everyone that's interested in some measure of investment. Remember, there is nothing as a stupid idea. You understand? It might be unique. When Bill Gates started this thing, he never expected it to reach as far as it has gotten to. So come on out, be a part of it, ask your questions, get your clarifications, and take it from there. Good luck.
Why, thank you. So we don't need luck for this.
Yes.
We can do this.
We can handle this.
And not just that we can handle it, but we know we'll have the support of the Grenadian public as well.
Yeah. Because I know for a fact there's something happening where Grenadians have, I don't know if it's a new mindset or so, but I'm seeing a level of industriousness that I haven't seen in a long time. And people are just anxious and eager. I mean, you drive from the town of St. George's to just St. David, and on the street you're seeing all different kinds of businesses, and these things could take off with the right support. So Grenadians, going out and be a part of it. It's at the Trade Center starting at 5:30 this afternoon. Go on out, ask your questions, get your clarifications, and then start working on those business plans.
Very well.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Purcell.
Thank you for having me.
And bring the love back to the IMA team, as always.
Will do.
All right, Micah? Good. All right. Folks, we take a break. When we come back, we've got the folks from the Child Protection Authority. You remember last week I invited them. Well, they've taken up that invitation, and they'll be with us shortly. We'll be back after these.
Have you ever wondered how you can benefit from the Grenada Citizenship by Investment Program? Then IMA Grenada invites you to its public forum on May 13th at 5:30 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center. Regulations have changed to create more space for local participation, for local developers and those who want to become local developers to tap into new opportunities. Hear from top experts from the CBI Committee, IMA Grenada, and GIDC. This is your opportunity to learn the process, ask your questions, and learn how to be involved. So don't miss this chance. Remember, Grenada Trade Center at 5:30 p.m. on May 13th. See you there.
Looking to shop online from your favorite stores like Amazon and Shein? With GPC Global, it's never been easier. Get your very own US address and shop from around the world. With GPC Global, you can order the latest trends and must-have items, all delivered straight to Grenada to your closest post office for your pickup. We offer the cheapest rates, and our service is reliable and quick. No more waiting for weeks for your packages. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Join the Grenada Postal family today and start shopping smarter. Visit us online at www.grenadapostal.com or call us on 437-POST. That's 437-7678. GPC Global, your gateway to the world.
Serve Grenada for decades. We are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wiring accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada and St. George. Sudden Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
Heritage Theatre presents Breaking Out, the Grenada Love Story, featuring Robert White and Lisa Grappi, written and directed by Chris DeRiggs.
But I still love you, Richie.
You love me and you're hard in me. 4 big performances, Saturday 24th and Sunday 25th May at the Grenada Trade Center, Saturday 31st May and Sunday 1st June at Deluxe Cinema in Grenville. Showtime 7 p.m. sharp.
He's the love of my life, Auntie. You have to marry a man for other things besides love, child.
Get your tickets at Mitchell's Pharmacy in Grandance, Gittins Health and Wellness, Wall Street, Gabriel's Pharmacy, Pedmata, St. David Pharmacy, St. Andrew Pharmacy, Art and Soul Boutique at Spiceland Mall, 3B's Shoe Store, and GoToFed.com. Breaking Out. Come out and enjoy Grenadian theater at its best.
This ad complements Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited.
GBN presents the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, Saturday, June 7th, Monrouge Plainfield from 11 a.m. Our partners, Maggie, the secret of great flavor, Grenada Distillers Limited, makers of Clark's Court, Grenada's #1 rum, Grenada Paper Products, makers of Cherish, Spring Soft, Harbour Bay, and Super Value Toilet Paper, and Royal, Quick and Easy, and Horizon Paper Towels, Budget Foods Inc., Classic Lighting, and Blue Bubbles PA Rental and Event Supplies. It's the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners, to the conversation. As I promised, it's a busy morning here, and I've got with me in the studio 2 representatives from the Child Protection Authority. To my immediate right is Mr. Wilkes, and to his immediate right is Mr. Hafford. Gentlemen, welcome to the conversation this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Hafford.
A pleasant good morning to you, Mr. Innocent.
Yes.
And welcome to our viewing and listening public.
Lovely.
Yes, yes.
Well, you see, I keep promises. Right?
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Last week I told you that I really want to bring back the Child Protection Authority, yeah?
Yes.
Was it last week or the week before? The week before, right, yeah.
Yes.
So here we are. So let's get into the meat of it. For people who do not know, what exactly is the Child Protection Authority? What is its mandate?
Well, yes. So let me start off by saying, officially, congratulations on your win.
Okay.
I didn't say that to you last time I was here on air.
Okay.
So congratulations to you on that.
Uh-huh.
So the Child Protection Authority, we are mandated to provide care and protection for children inside Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And we have to do that by using the law that is provided to us, which is the Child Protection Care and Adoption Act.
Okay.
Right.
Is it a government agency?
Yes, we are a statutory body through the Ministry of Social Development.
Okay.
All right. So we have our own board of directors, and directors run and managing the authorities day to day.
Okay, so the primary mandate is to protect the children of the Tri-Island state?
Yes.
Okay, and protection in that sense, what does that sort of protection entails?
Well, in terms of how it entails, whatever information that comes into us, reports comes into us, we have a duty system that really takes in all the information. So whatever information that comes in terms of suspected abuse or whatever form of abuse that may come in, we have to investigate it by law. So even if you figure, for instance, somebody is saying, look, I think this child is being physically abused because I'm hearing all the screaming on evening times and the child is crying continuously. Even if you're not sure,
you have to investigate it.
We have to investigate it.
Okay.
So once a report is made, we'll have to do some preliminary investigations. And once that is done, and it's proved to be true, then we will take steps to see how we can stop the issue and help the family.
Okay. All right. So having said that, it seems to me that your organization sort of work collaboratively with the RGPF through the Special Victims Unit.
Well, yes. We work with different stakeholder agencies, and you're quite right, the RGPF by and large, yes, and specifically we work with CID, Special Victims Unit, especially based on the sexual crimes and other issues affecting our children.
Okay, all right. And from the agency standpoint, do you think that we have a serious problem with child abuse? And I'm using abuse as the capital word here, because there are different areas of abuse, be it psychological, mental, sexual,
physical.
Do you think that we have an alarming state of abuse in Grenada?
Well, I would say yes, we do, and not just in Grenada, throughout the Caribbean. But to pinpoint our issues here in Grenada, we have a problem. If you look at the assizes for us, the High Court assizes, you will realize there are a lot of sexual crimes against children, especially in Grenada. And holistically, we have more than 700 active cases of child abuse in general. I'm not just speaking about the sexual abuse, I'm just talking about child abuse in general, in terms of within our system. Right, and because of that, obviously you can understand the strain it will have on an entity as ours, and we are trying the best we can with the resources that we have. I know, but we welcome more resources once it's available.
That's a good. It's a good platform to mitigate for that.
Of course, and I have to say, within the last 4 to 5 years, we have been getting a lot of assistance from our partner agencies and the governments, especially now, which have increased our subvention a bit. We hope we can increase a bit more.
Yeah.
But we have to understand that all other agencies, all other governments, departments want and need resources as well. So the little we can get to protect the future of our Tri-Island state, the better.
Yeah, and I'm happy that you raised the concern that child abuse is not just a Grenada thing; it's a regional pandemic, if you want to use that term, because we had this buzzing issue out of Guyana with Adriana Young,
yes,
right? And this morning I read in the news of a 9-year-old that was killed
in Jamaica,
and placed in a barrel.
Yep.
We had our own share of that. I remember of the young lady in the Grandance area.
Harriet.
Yes. So what, besides the punitive measures, all right, like getting the police and so forth involved so charges are laid, but what other steps from the Child Protection Authority's angle are you taking to prevent these things from happening?
Well, I'll just speak broadly on it, and I'll let Mr. Wills come in to show you what we're doing going forward, especially for this year as we're celebrating 15 years of existence. But holistically, what the intention is one, education. we need to educate the public on do's and don'ts, different methods of disciplining. We have a real serious issue because we grew up in a culture where before you hear a child do something and you get angry, you pick up the closest thing you could find and use it.
I have marks on my back still, but in those days, my grandmother was flogging me with love.
In her mind, it was with love, and because even the love causes damage, something might be permanent.
Love hurts,
and so we look at these things and we say the education needs to be important, and we have to put that education in such a way that everybody understands, not just your viewing and listening public, but the PTA meetings. You're going into the community and have different presentation facilitations. We have qualified persons within the authority that does parenting programs with individuals and entities and so forth. So we are trying different ways to lower the temperature. But first of all, you need to educate your public, because a lot of people never saw it as abuse. They never, even if a child might be stealing a hot penny and put in the child's hand, and some of the measures are so punitive.
Well, we even had a case in Grenada where a parent took out the child's hand and put it in the actual fire and burned it. Yes. I don't know if you all remember this.
Yeah, you remember when we had a case where the parent or guardian took the candle and was, while just laying the wax drip on the child, So we try different things as parents to get through to our children, but we have to understand some of these measures is not the best and safest way to help protect and discipline our children. So we do the education, we do the throughout the trial and state, and we try to have one-on-ones with persons, because, like it or not, we have some frustrated parents.
Well, not only that, we have people acting as parents who themselves are children.
There you go. So I was getting to that point, So we try to meet these people where they are, right, and bring them up to a standard where they can be proud of themselves as parents. They can say, okay, you know what, this happened. Instead of me beating with a 2x4 behind the child's head, I could take out the child's phone. I could, do different disciplinary measures that can help that child going forward.
Okay. So what?
But as previously stated, we're focusing on education a lot, because some people, you ask them questions and they just don't know, or they thought what they were doing was perfectly fine, and as well, he steal money from me, so I cut his hand or something, or chop him or whatever, and to them, perfectly fine, perfectly normal. But when you put it in perspective to say, well, okay, they did this and you did something 10 times worse to them to punish them, they kind of understand, okay, it's not proportional to what the child did. It's like, okay, they lied to you, don't go and wash their mouth out with soap and water and don't do it.
It's unrealistic.
Exactly.
Okay. One of the things I must confess, though, I am happy that representing the Child Protection Authority this morning, I have two men.
Yes.
That is indicative of a good thing to me, in that men are part of the process, even from that stage, because nowadays the men are absent.
That is true.
Especially in the child's lives, the children's lives. You understand? So it's a good thing that there seems to be some measure of equilibrium. Although I understand that is just on the set this morning, but in the true essence of it, we still have more women in the Child Protection Authority.
Of course, it's 90-something percent.
Yeah, but it's a good thing.
Of course,
it's really a good thing. And also, for example, in the Legal Aid and Counseling Clinic, we have Mr. Tyrone Buckmeyer as the head. A man is there. People need to come to terms with the fact that no matter what angle we take with the projection of the LGBTQ and so forth, now men have their role,
of course,
that is one. I subscribe to that theory that the absence of men is one of the main cause, if not the main cause, for the breakdown of society.
I agree with that. And just before Mr. Wills go ahead and tell you what we're doing in terms of scripts and what we'll be doing for the next months into the year, I just want to say, yes, if you look at statistics, when there's a male and a female in the household, a man and a woman in the household as parents, the children are better off.
They're more balanced.
The family's better off. There's the equilibrium, as you stated, and like it or not, people tend to say, "Oh, well, I could do it without him, or I could do it without her." There's certain things. No matter what you do, you cannot replace a male figure or a female figure within a household.
Papa God is all wisdom.
Yes.
You know, God is all wisdom. Somebody said, "Don't say Papa God." So God is all wisdom.
Yes.
And in His wisdom, He said there should be a man and a woman to make a child. So no matter what you do, there is that place for both parties, and they've got the significant strategic roles that they have to play, and without it you have a state of imbalance.
Of course. So, Mr.
Child Protection Authority celebrating 15 years. Time flying already. Right? Celebrating 15 years. What would you say are some of the main accomplishments of that 15 years, those 15 years?
Well, let me speak on the achievements. We established a child protection protocol. All right. Now, this is a guideline which is signed on by the Minister of Health, Education, the police force, and social development, to cohesively work together in dealing with child abuse. Because at the end of the day, you need those entities, to work together to help guide how things are to be done. So this protocol shows you how to do investigations, where the police would come in, where health would come in, where education would come in, where social development will come in doing that, working with the Child Protection Authority to protect our children. We do a lot of public education outreach,
like you're doing now.
We're doing now. Through the media programs, workshops, presentations, so forth, because we go to schools and do presentation churches, whether it's AY in the Adventist church or whether it's in the Baptist church or wherever we are called upon, we try to go and impart knowledge and explain to persons and educate them. We invest in a lot of our human resource now, where we try to get especially our child protection officers who do the actual work on the ground, educational opportunities, CVQs, bachelors, masters, wherever the field of work we can try to improve on doing that. We have opened offices in different parts of Grenada. We have an office in Grenville, we have one in Guave, we have one in Carriacou.
All right.
We have a 24/7 coverage system, where we have a duty manager and duty persons always on call 24/7.
Do you have a hotline?
We have a hotline.
Okay, what's the hotline?
533-6990.
Folks, remember that number, 533-6990.
Yes, and that information is submitted to our stakeholders. So the police will have it, social development will have it. We partner with private entities as well to do welfare initiatives as hampers and so forth that we would distribute throughout Tri-Island, say to needy children, families, and so forth. We establish Smiles, which is our girls' home. So we have a boys' home and we have a girls' home. Right, and we would take in children who are destitute in terms of they can't find a place to stay because of the abuse that is taking place within their household, and we use it as a last resort.
Okay.
Or in cases of emergency where we have to remove that child right away and we don't have a place to put them, we try to use that.
Is there an age limit as to?
Well, it's up to 18.
18, all right.
All right.
Okay.
So we tried. We have other homes that we partner with, Belle Home, Queen Elizabeth Home, to take on the younger ones. But once they get around 12, 13, we take them into our home.
Okay.
All right. We look at the augmenting of staff. So we want to better the crop of staff we have, and we are working in terms of finding best fit for the kind of work we do, because not everybody could do social work. And it's a daunting thing. And I just want to plug in here my management, the board of directors, staff at Child Protection Authority. We'd like to thank you for all your hard work. We CPA handbook. We have a handbook that we are using to guide the process of persons. So when they come in, you get a handbook. That's what you use as your secondary Bible after your laws. And so we do that to improve the policies and procedures within the authority. And finally, I have to say, we have a fully staffed counseling department.
Right.
That serves all our children as what's in care, and that we can reach, and those who come in for counseling counseling. We have established that for them as a tool to help them cope with their issues and with their families, to bring them to a state of normalcy so that they can be productive citizens.
All right. We're running out of time quickly, so tell us the activities that you have celebrating your 15th anniversary.
Yes, we have 15th anniversary. We plan to do events for the entire year, so May 2025 to May 2026. We'll be starting it with a church service on May the 18th at the St. George's Baptist Church in Springs, and that will just be basically to culminate it and kind of just say, okay, we're starting all of our events from there. We would have things like jingle competitions, debates, a family fun day, social events, a motorcade. As you can see, I have a lot of things planned for a lot of communities all throughout Grenada, also in Petit Martinique as well, and Carriacou will be doing stuff over there as well. So we have information booths we're going to be putting out, so different communities. We may do standing information booths, stationary, where we're just in one location, you come, you visit us, get pamphlets, information, any kind of services we offer, that kind of thing. Or we may do walkthroughs in communities where we just come together as a group, go through a community, any person we see outside, possibly talk to them, share their concerns if they have any, and give them direction as to where they could go and what they can do. And as far as our, first project we have for the season of CPA turns 15 is Project Script. That basically stands for Strengthening Community Relations and Involvement through Partnership Teams. So we then once again go to the stakeholders, as Mr. Harford said, because it's not just a singular effort, we have to combine with other people. So Script is basically a psychosocial program. It's geared towards educating the public and going out there and kind of hearing people's concerns and teaching them a better way to do things, so to speak. So you're not necessarily wrong in what you're doing, but you probably could do it a bit better. And how we could fight against child abuse, prevent it before it happens, and if it does happen, how to address it, those kind of things. And as far as that goes, we're pretty much just encouraging other organizations that would like to partner up with us long term, or if they have events coming up and they would like us to be there, then that's also an option. So we're open to that. We would like to be at whatever event you have, show our face, represent, and just hear people's concerns. And you can reach us in various methods. We have Facebook, we have TikTok, we have Instagram, and we have the hotline as previously mentioned. So, yeah.
I think people underrate the importance of this agency, maybe because of lack of the knowledge of it, what it does, and maybe with more exposure. You know, so I am therefore going to make a pitch again and try to get you all to be a staple on my program, if it's once a quarter or twice a quarter and so forth, because there are people out there who need this sort of support. And sad to say, there are some people who don't even know that this type of support is available. All right, so I think we need to be more frontal. That so no one is left behind. And, so we'll have that communication.
Of course.
Yeah, we'll definitely have that communication, but we have to wrap it up here. But thank you again, Mr. Wilkes and Mr. Harford.
No problem.
And all the best with the activities that you have planned for the year as the time progresses. You definitely are going to come back on my program and say how some of the events went, and those that you have forthcoming again. But keep on doing the great works that you're doing. Your work will not go unnoticed. As time goes by, people would realize, hey, the Child Protection Authority really helped me, because I need help too. I'm my mother's child.
Yes. All of us are children.
All of us are children.
You know. All right. So thank you for dropping by, and all the best with your set of activities that you've got coming on.
Thank you.
Folks, I've been speaking there with Mr. Wilkes and Mr. Harford, representing the Child Protection Authority, as that agency is celebrating its 15th anniversary. That's it for the conversation. I've got to join the BBC, which is already in progress. Thank you. That's it. Bye-bye.